Hi all you wonderful divers, welcome to Scuba Diver Magazine. So you've bought your first set of regulators, but it's come in like 3 or 4 separate boxes. They need to be assembled. The good news is that you can assemble your own regulators yourself as long as you have some very basic tools and of course watch all of this video, because there are some things that you do need to think about when assembling regulators for the first time. First, what you're going to need and things to consider. You're going to need a set of Allen keys or hex keys, whatever you call them, to remove some of the port plugs on the first stage. You're also going to need some spanners or wrenches, ideally fixed spanners or fixed size spanners, because adjustable spanners can loosen when you're using them and you end up stripping the nut, which can damage the hose or your regulator. Otherwise, those are the only basic tools that you're going to need to assemble your regulators. So things to consider when assembling your regulator. The first thing is that regulators are usually made from chrome plated brass, which is quite a soft metal, and you can damage it quite easily by scratching it with a tool or screwing things in too tightly. The tiny screw threads on hoses and your first stage are pretty delicate, and if you wrench a hose in too tight, you're going to damage those threads and it can be a really expensive mistake to make. The correct amount of torque, how much you tighten something up, is usually around 5 Newton meters, which is finger tight, and then just a smidge more so that the hose can't be unscrewed by hand, and that's about it. O-rings don't need to be greased with silicone or anything, but do check that they're obviously present. They do need to be on each of the hoses and that they're in a good condition. The O-ring should be nice and smooth all over and not worn or thready, because then they can start to leak. You actually can't or shouldn't mix brands when it comes to first and second stages, and sometimes only specific combinations are recommended. It doesn't matter what gauges or low pressure inflator hoses, you can mix and match those to your heart content, but when it comes to second stages, the bit that you breathe from, like your octo and your primary, you shouldn't fit just any old octo to any first stage. It kind of has to be recommended. And when you're fitting a hose and you're screwing it in, be careful of what's on the other end of the hose, because that's going to be turning and rolling around and you don't want it to roll off of your bench and then smash into something, damaging whatever that was or your brand new regulator. Now that you've got all of your parts of your regulators and your tools in front of you, take a look at your first stage and decide which hose is going to go into which port. You'll notice that some of the ports are a little bit larger than others, and sometimes they have something like HP stamped next to them. The large ports are for your gauges and your transmitters. Anything high pressure, that's what the HP stands for. The smaller ports are low pressure hoses like your second stages, your octo, and your inflator hoses for your BCD or your dry suit. Once you've planned out which hose is going where, you need to remove the port plugs on the first stage. Take the correct size Allen key. It should fit in the hole but not wiggle around too much. If it wiggles around too much like this, it could be the wrong size and you might actually damage it. So check that there isn't a better metric or imperial size Allen key, and then unscrew the port plug. Keep hold of your port plugs. These can be very useful down the road, so just store them away either in your reg bag or just somewhere safe. Now take the hose and line it up with the port and screw it into the port. Remember to consider the entire hose and what's on the other end of it, and screw it in so that it's finger tight. When it's in finger tight, get the right size spanner and just tighten it up, taking care not to scratch the first stage as you turn it or do it up too tight. Continue for the remaining hoses and you have successfully assembled your regulators. That's really all there is to it. The next thing that you need to do is to test them out. Brand new regulators can need adjusting from new or after the first few dives, as all of the moving parts are being used for the first time properly. So it's not unusual for a brand new regulator to just hiss a little bit from a second stage and release a bit of gas. This is why it's important to do a few check dives with a brand new regulator somewhere safe, somewhere close to home, before taking them on a long dive trip, because then you're going to have to try and find somewhere out there to get them adjusted. All they usually need is just a quick tweak at your local dive center, but try to avoid bringing brand new regulators, especially new and untested regulators, on a long dive trip, because chances are they might need a little adjustment. And that's it for this how-to guide. For more of these, subscribe to the Scuba Diver Magazine channel, and of course head over to our website scubadivermag.com. We run 3 magazines, one for the UK, one for the US, and one for Australia and New Zealand. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have fun with your brand new regulator, and of course, safe diving.